Alan, welcome to Castle Malwood. It's great to get our first publication to come and talk to us in Vissensa Talk series. So really eager to talk to you about your business.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. It's just great to be here. What a location.
Yeah,
I mean,
everybody,
location.
yeah, everybody that comes does admire the location. It's a beautiful afternoon as well,
It
so
is.
you can see the island over in the background again. So look, I think one of the things that sparked us to sit down like this, Alan, was that print and publications, they are at the forefront of displaying and promoting and educating whatever environment that might be in, whether it's an IT environment or boats, aeroplanes, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Is traditionally you are the people that are putting out information and news and relevant information. It's had to transform itself, okay, and clearly it's transforming itself through the situations that we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about how you're seeing that and how the industry is starting to map itself to a much more digitally focused world.
Yeah, and these views, I must admit, are, first I'm going to say, are my opinion. They're not fact. They're my opinion. Although, as one of my bosses used to say to me, just because it's your opinion doesn't mean it's not fact. But I don't think she meant it in a nice way.
Yeah.
But anyway, the print media has become very expensive to continually put out. And with what we do at the business magazine is that we are very much focused on a very niche sector of the market. And we used to put out a magazine, print magazine. It used to go out every 2 months, and it was very well received within the marketplace. But our magazine used to actually go to business premises. And of course, when people went on furlough and everybody was doing home working, there was no market for the magazine. So we came up with the decision to be able to pivot that across to a digital magazine, because then our readers can still see and get their content that they have. But this has happened across the board with so many things. Everybody seems to be stopping the print side of things. Print is just so expensive, and going across to digital platforms. And as you say, it could be in yachting, it could be in anything. My big reference is there's a motorcycle magazine that I like to read, and it's called Cycle News, and it's absolutely superb. And they resurrected that magazine by going digital a couple of years ago. And it just puts you in a space where you are suddenly open to so much more as far as your readership is concerned as well, because you're not limited to just your geographical area anymore. So people from all over the world can have a look.
Yeah, I think there's one immediate plus point, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Is that the readership can extend much further than perhaps that was originally envisaged.
Correct.
The other thing maybe is that you, through technology, you're able to be more dynamic.
Yes.
Than you are in a magazine. A magazine, I think everybody likes to look in a magazine. Let's face it, we all like to turn pages.
Turn a page and look at the pictures.
And look at the pictures. But actually, if there's some content in there, that also, I think, enhances it. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, exactly, because that's exactly what we're looking at doing with the business magazine, or we have started doing, is that suddenly you're going from a print magazine where if you've got a hyperlink or you've got a link that you want somebody to look at something on the website, it's got to be written out, the complete link, or else you've got to have a bit.ly short code or something to that effect. Whereas with digital, you suddenly can incorporate so much more. We can link out to people's LinkedIn profiles, you can link out to other articles, you can link the magazines together, you can link to video content, to audio content, and you can change it if you need to. If you need to correct something, you can correct it. You don't have to pull back all the print magazines.
Yeah, I think. I think the fact that you can link to other articles, but you also can link to other external reference points, and that
Correct.
might be a reference point from an organisation that's sponsoring that particular page or whatever. So obviously, you know, you're a commercial organisation. At the end of the day, we've all got to earn a cup of tea out of what we do, and it's recognised in that industry, in your industry as well. But actually, again, and perhaps that's a great way of enhancing. I mean, you know, technology is really advancing to a stage where the way that people consume that stuff is changing or pivoting, as you say, maybe for good.
Yeah, absolutely. I personally, as much as we said earlier, we both love magazine and flipping a page, but I think those days are seriously numbered. I mean, it's happened with the newspapers, and it's happening with magazines all over the place. Digital is the platform, and you can do so much more with digital, and I just see so much more coming.
So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Okay. Something that definitely we haven't talked about at all prior to starting filming. So I agree with you, is that, you know, as everything pivots towards that digital world, you can put a lot more out. What's your view on paywalls? You know, there's a lot of content, but actually there's a lot of paywall out there that actually stops that content being used. What's your view on that?
If I had to tell you that, if I had to tell you that, in fact, when I woke up this morning, that is what I woke up to. My thought process is about paywalls. I think that certain content will be behind paywalls.
Yeah.
Because if you can make premium content, which has a little bit of extra. Once again, as you said, everybody's got to earn their cup of tea.
Yeah.
And you can't do everything for nothing. So somewhere there's got to be a cost. And if you don't want to be just purely driven by advertising marketplace, then you've got to look at a paywall.
Yeah, and it provides that premium, doesn't it? And I think it helps in some ways.
You've definitely got to have proper premium content. So it's based on the quality of what you're putting out. And if it's adding value, or it is of value to the reader, they will pay for it. You know, your subscription models are working all over the place. You've got YouTube Premium, which I have subscribed to. You've got, you know, Spotify. You've got everything else in the channels, and you've got it within magazines as well.
So do you see this idea of the way that we describe it is almost like free and freemium?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that model seems to be something that is starting.
I think that's definitely going to
make a lot of ground.
Yeah, but I'm also starting to think. The other day I was thinking about this. Where's the line? Because everybody wants subscription base, and you're going to be so tied up in subscriptions that people aren't going to be going to your magazines and reading if everything is behind paywalls. So we've got to try and work out, how do we add value to a reader?
So let's just turn that around and think about that add value. Obviously, if you're paying for something that's premium, talk a little bit about the editorial stuff that you do and how you work with journalists in terms of getting the right content into your magazine.
So the business magazine is around media or content for the south of England.
Yeah.
And we're not worried about companies London upwards. It's just our area, Thames Valley, South Central, South Coast.
That's brilliant.
And that's what we're all about. We're the only independent voice of business. We take press releases from the businesses in this area, and if they're relevant to our readership, we publish them and provide that information.
It's fantastic.
And then when we do special features and we do some specific advertorial-based profiles, then there's cost that will be applied to that as well. And most of our clients, because of the amount of extra value we give through other articles, they're happy to pay every now and again, or be part of the advertising process, do advertising within the magazine, that kind of thing. But we try and put out as much content as we can to build up the business community in the South.
Brilliant. Well, look, good talking in this section about really how you see the business magazine evolving further into that digital market. It's fabulous to have a magazine which is focused on the South and focused on business, and we really compliment you in that. I think it's a really great vehicle that people can use. So thanks very much for your time this morning, and we'll get back to some more of it later.
Thank you very much.